If you are new to the channel, then subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further notification. Okay student, welcome you all to this new lecture in power system series. So today again we will be solving 5 questions starting from question number 156 to up to question number 160. Okay, then let's try to solve these questions. Okay, in question number 156, consider a synchronous generator connected to an infinite bus by two of the identical parallel transmission lines. The transient reactance X of the generator is given, transient reactance, and the mechanical power input to it is given, it is constant at 1 per unit. Okay, mechanical power input. Due to the previous disturbance, the rotor angle delta is undergoing an undamped oscillation. So there was a oscillation, it was stable, but it was continuously oscillating. It was not going unbounded, that is delta is not going beyond a range. It was just moving and coming and back, coming and back. You can think of this way, that what you have seen, this one, suppose your delta, so your delta was moving, suppose from here to here up to this much. That's it. So there was initial oscillations where the maximum is 130. Now one of the parallel lines trips due to the relay maloperation. Due to relay fault, one of the line trips. Suddenly one line has gone out. When delta is 130, when delta is equal to 130, as shown in the figure, the maximum value of the per unit reactance X such that the system does not lose synchronism subsequent to this tripping. Now you can see your delta is at 130, and with that previous disturbance, it was coming. The previous disturbance was not so big enough. It was bringing that, it was able to bring that delta back to somehow normal. Then it is again going. It was not able to damp out the oscillation, but it was able to control that oscillation. It was not going unbounded. It was going 130, then it is coming, then again 130. Okay. So you are hitting your operation, maloperation starts at these positions. So at these positions, if your maloperation starts, then what will happen? You try that your delta should not go beyond that. So that means your operating power, that is the power that you are delivering from here to here at this angle 130 with this X should satisfy, because now X has changed, because now network will change, one X will go, so this X will change now. Initially it was X by 2, now it will be X. Okay, so for sending the same amount of power, whatever it was sending that power, that is 1 per unit. So with that new network also, it should send at 130 that much power, because if it need more delta to send that power, then what will happen? Then its delta will go out of control, it will never come back. So that's why when you say the power that is you are transmitting, now in the new scenario, what is the maximum power, what is the power you can transfer? This is 1 they have given, infinite is also 1 into 1 divided by 0.1 plus X sin delta, that should be equal to your 1. So now this delta should be equal to 130, because this is the maximum delta was initially going to these oscillations. So if you keep it at 130, so when it reach 130, then also it will satisfy. Otherwise if it reach 130, it will not satisfy. Okay, so that's the idea. If it go 150, 70, then the values will reduce, so it will not satisfy, then delta will keep on increasing, which will eventually make it come to this line. If delta will be 130 means already here it is, you can see. So it should match here the output. If it doesn't match here output, your output is falling below here, then it will go further below, because it was on the rise, so it will keep it system unstable and finally system will collapse. So that's why you will put delta is equal to 130 degree angle here. So if you put it 130 degree, then you will, I am not doing it, so if you do your X, you will get 0.66. So that is your answer, that is option C. An isolated 50 Hz synchronous generator is rated at 15 volt, which is also maximum continuous power limit of the prime mover. 15 megawatt, which is the maximum power limit of the prime mover. You cannot load it beyond 15 megawatt. That is the meaning. It is equipped with a speed governor with 5% droop. Initially the generator is feeding 3 loads, 4 megawatt at 50 Hz. That means 3 into 4, 12 megawatt at 50 Hz. One of the loads is programmed to trip permanently if the frequency falls below 48 Hz. If an additional load of 3.5 is connected, then the frequency will settle down to. If you see this one, this type of characteristics is something of this fashion. This is your frequency and this is your load. So as you increase your load, the droop characteristic is that frequency will also fall. So this is a some line, it is a straight line, and this is the maximum limit that you can go up to 15 megawatt. It is operating somewhere at 12 megawatt, somewhere less than this 12 megawatt, and at 12 megawatt the frequency is 50 Hz. So this point you know, that is 12,50. Actually I note this equation of this line. So if you go beyond 15, you cannot load the generator beyond 15. If you load it beyond 15, what will happen? The generator will stop. because your prime mover cannot give input to be more than 15 megawatt power. You don't have that much power to give input, so how can it will give more power than 15 megawatt? So ultimately it will lose synchronism. That means its frequency will fall. Forget about 48, its frequency will fall to 0 because it will stop. Okay, so first let me write down the equation of this line. So what is the slope of this line? This slope is of 5%. So 5% of what is your standard frequency? We are operating at 50 Hertz. So this slope is 5% of 50 Hertz, that is 2.5 Hertz. So this drop will be 2.5. From here to here the drop will be 2.5 Hertz and it is on 15. So this is 2.5, this is 15. So slope of this line is minus 2.5 divided by, so from here to here, this is the height, this is the base. So this is slope. This height is 2.5, from here to here it can fall maximum 2.5 and this is 15. So if you know slope, if you know point, then you can find the equation of the line. Y minus y2 is equal to m into x minus x1, or this is p. This is p you can write, this is f you can write. So this is, it will become easy for you. So your f will look like 52 minus p by 6. Now what is your total load? Now if you add one more 3.5, they are asking additional load of 3.5. Now it will come to, initially it was supplying 12 plus 15.5, which it cannot be, because if it goes 15.5, then what will happen? The frequency will fall down. Once frequency will fall down, once the frequency is falling, once it reach 48, then one of its unit which is programmed to stop permanently, if it will fall below 48, then it will stop. So it will not, frequency will not come down to 0, because after 48 what will happen? One load will go away, that is 4. So it will be loaded with 11.5 megawatt, because once your frequency fall below this, then it will come into this. So now this will settle at 11.5. Now what is your frequency at 11.5? You put it there. That is your answer. It is 50.0833. That is your option C. A lossless single machine infinite busbar system is shown in here. The synchronous generator transfers 1 unit power from to infinite busbar. The critical clearing given this much. Another identical synchronous generator connected in parallel to the original existing generator, and each generator is scheduled to supply 0.5. Now they will be sharing, because 1 unit power is sending 0.5. The critical clearing of the circuit breaker will be, suppose this is the case of when one generator was there. So this is its Pmax limit. So it was operating somewhere here, where your output load is 1 per unit. So the critical clearing angle is, it referred to fault. So if there is a fault, it will come down to 0. So this is your area, and when it will reach to, this is the maximum delta max it can. So this is the critical clearing delta and critical clearing time. It was your graph. If your delta increase, then your time is also increasing. Okay, you have more time. Now if you connect one more generator, then what will happen? Pmax will be 2 Pmax, because your x will be divided by 2, this whatever x it is there. Or you can think, if one generator giving this much power from here to here, same identical another generator will give you 2 Pmax. Or you can see it is V1 by V2 divided by x by 2 it will be. So it will make it 2 times. So now it will go to 2 times of this one. Suppose this is my 2 Pmax. So if you see now, what will be your curve will look like this. Whatever. This is your operating point. Now new operating point will be at this, because total power is 1, and each one is, I am not drawing each one, this is overall, including the overall system P delta curve. So this is one. Now you can say, now if there is a fault, so because this is, so what will be its area? So this will be its area. Now if you clear at, suppose if you clear at this point, so what is its delta max? You can see this is the new delta max. So what is the area it can have? Deaccelerating is area, is huge area. So that means to match that area, your delta C should come here. Then only this area will reduce. You can see this area should be equal to this area. So you can visualize this area is huge. To make this area more, your delta C should move here. So then you will see this area, total area will be equal to this new area. If you shift it there, then only these two can be equal. So that means your delta C, you are pushing your delta C that side. That means you are pushing your TC that side. That means you are increasing your TCC. So TC will obviously increase, because this one is, you have a dx, in the acceleration you have a luxury of very area. So in acceleration also you may have a luxury to go little bit far. So your TC will be beyond 0.28 second. You don't know how much, but it will be increasing beyond 0.28 original time. So that is your option D. So if you come to 159, if 500 hertz 21 kilovolt 50 hertz 3 phase 2 pole synchronous rotating having rated this much has a moment of inertia of this, then the inertia constant is. Okay, moment of inertia is given. So you know this one, that is half the kinetic energy stored is equal to your inertia constant, that is the total inertia. So this is given 27.5, which one? So you can see the moment of inertia 27, this K 27.5 into 10 to the power 3 into omega s. Omega s is in radian, so you have to be careful. If I go 120 F by P, I think I have shown how to, this is 120 F by P is 2 pole. So this is in RPM. So if you have to convert it into radian per second, one revolution is 2 pi radian and it is in minutes. So if you convert it in second, you have to divide. In minute this much, in 1 second it will give less. So this one whole square should be equal to your H you don't know, and what is your G? G is in MVA, so that also you have to be careful. So it's megawatt because it is megajoule per MVA. All the options are. So you have to convert this power also in MVA. G is the power actually. So because we always write megajoule per MVA, so you write it by MVA. See option, if it is given megawatt, then you could have written it 500. So if you solve all these things, I think you can do it. All this, after all this calculation, you will find it is 2 megajoule per MVA. That is your option A. A cylindrical generator delivers this much power steady state to infinite transmission line reactance this, generator no load voltage is this, infinite bias voltage this, inertia contains this, generator reactance this, critical clearing angles for a 3-phase dead short circuit fault of a generator terminal voltage. So you know this graph will you have already seen. This is of, suppose this is operating as, so something of this fashion. This area should be equal to this area. This was its initial condition delta 0, this is delta max, this is delta C, from here we will get TC, or they are asking just critical angle, so delta C they are asking. Okay, so what is its P max? So you calculate your P max is 1.5 into 1 by no load voltage 1, infinite bias voltage 1, and the reactance is 1, and the transmission line is 0.5, so 1.5. So this is 1. So this maximum limit is 1, and it is delivering power at 0.5. So what is its sin delta? So this is 1 sin delta is equal to 0.5. That means your delta 0 initially it was at 30 degree, half, so it is at 30 degree. You convert it into pi by 6. So what is your delta max? Delta max will be pi minus pi by 6. That is 180 minus this much. It can go up to this much. You cannot go below that, because if you move below that, your generator power is less than this, so it will not come back, it will further reduce, it will reduce to 0. So it is 5 pi by 6. So once it is 5 pi by 6, so now we can solve it. It is integration this area is height rectangle, so height into base, so height is 0.5, base is your critical angle, that is if I say x minus 5 pi by 6, this should be its area is from this to this, x to 5 pi by 6. And what is this area? This area under this minus area under this. So this is at 0.5 and this is at 1 sin delta. So this is 1 sin delta minus 0.5. Then you, from the whole area you deduct this area, and that is equal to into d delta or dx. If I am writing in x, I think you can do it. Sin x is minus cos x. You apply that integration, then upper limit, lower limit. If you do all this stuff, you will get x in radian, and then if you convert it into whatever radian it comes to degree, you will gain 79.56 degree. That is your option D. If you like the video, then press the like button and please give your valuable comments in the comment section.